On today's Primetime Local News, the president and CEO of Lakeland College is recognized for her 30-plus years at the institution. And City Council wants Lloydminster and other mid-sized cities to be seen as important and relevant voices in Alberta. Plus, we take you inside a student-run cattle show in Vermilion.
Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, I'm Jace Mackey. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with news just outside Lloydminster. An 18-year-old Kiscotti man is facing several charges, including sexual assault. RCMP say back on February 27th, they received a complaint that a youth had been sexually assaulted in the community. As a result of the investigation, Gage Wolf from Kiscotti is charged with aggravated sexual assault, sexual interference, and failing to comply. Police say there may be more victims and encourage them to report the crime. And looking to showcase Lloydminster as an important, relevant voice within the province of Alberta, City Council is endorsing an Alberta Community Partnership Grant application. Reese Andrews has more.
The approved application will fund 4 phases of unlocking the full potential of Alberta Mid-Sized Cities Initiative. The initiative has been created by cities in Alberta with a population under 500,000 who have expressed similar concerns around government funding.
But at the end of the day, we're not really in play politically normally, so no one really looks at us to say, hey, we got to make sure we deal with some of their problems, or we got to make sure they get the extra funding. Edmonton and Calgary and some of the larger centers, definitely you see that. So we need to start speaking with a common voice with some of the other mid-sized cities, because we have common problems. It's just with the big cities, we just don't necessarily get the funding or attention for what comes up.
The 4 phases of the initiative include fiscal sustainability, economic impact, mapping the road ahead, and developing a common dashboard which will work to improve mid-sized cities' communities.
How do we help the government understand our needs are different from both Calgary and Edmonton because of one city there, as well as different from the towns, villages, and rural municipalities that dot across Alberta.
The funding request to the province of Alberta is for $400,000, and each member municipality is expected to participate in workshops and interviews, as well as provide support and data. Reese Andrews, Primetime, Local News.
Lakeland College is celebrating one of their own. The college's president and CEO is the recipient of a Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal. Alice Wainwright Stewart was nominated for the award by Alberta's Minister of Advanced Education in recognition of her service in the field of adult education. Wainwright Stewart says she's humbled.
You think of community service and what it is to be able to be a part of a community and give yourself to the community in ways that you can watch the community be better. And especially for Lakeland College, it's about watching our students grow and develop, and they become the leaders of the future. And to me, there's nothing better than to watch our students grow and develop and become those community leaders, those new businesses that are in town that really keep our communities moving forward.
Originally from the U.S., Wainwright Stewart started teaching in night classes at Lakeland in 1982 before becoming a full-time instructor and eventually chair of the Early Childhood Development Program. Later, she became dean and served as vice president academic for 10 years before becoming the school's 9th president.
And each level of leadership brings a different passion in terms of helping the people that you're with and helping them grow and develop and become. Working with colleagues to help them watch them grow through their years of service as well is a really important part of really growing our whole region and growing our Lakeland College, but growing our Northeast region is a really important part of it, because the world doesn't know how great the Northeast region of Alberta really is.
And it's time now for us to check in with Shelby Clark on a look at our weather today. I know it's quite windy this morning, but is that kind of cold weather going to last? Let's find out.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking a first look at your weather forecast, we have warmed up quite a bit. We are just sitting at -6 right now. With that wind chill, like you were saying, we were seeing some stronger winds earlier on, and that's still continuing right now throughout the day. Of course, we were also seeing that light snowfall earlier on as well if you were up around, that 10 a.m., 11 a.m. mark. So if you're outside, you did see a lot of that snowfall hitting the ground, but, wasn't too heavy, so we aren't seeing too much snow on the ground right now. But we have been seeing a mixture of some sun and clouds throughout the day as we went through the mid-afternoon, looking more into our evening, which is kind of helping, melt things down and warm things up at the same time. So hopefully everybody's still enjoying their day, because it's nice to see that we are slightly warming up for the rest of the week. Switching over to our school day forecast for tomorrow for all the kiddos out there, they will be starting off slightly cooler with that -16 right off in the morning. Looking at that -14 about recess time, and then as they go on through lunch and for the day out, they will be hitting that single digit once again with -8. And, nice to see. Mostly sunny skies is expected for tomorrow, so that will be quite beautiful, especially for recess and the day out for all the kiddos out there. They're going to enjoy it once school day is done. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan right at the moment. Most spots are matching with us here in the border city on our Alberta side. Most are around -5, -6 degrees, which is just quite lovely. We are looking at -3 up in Cold Lake and over in Edmonton, so they are looking slightly warmer compared to the rest just by a few degrees. But for the most part, everybody is seeing those single digits. Going over to our Saskatchewan side, they are matching with us with those conditions. Most are seeing around -4 to -6 degrees seems to be the common pattern here on our Saskatchewan side. We go a bit higher up, and Isla Cross is broken off from that, seeing -9, so slightly closer to those double digits for Isla Cross, but still seeing -9, so we definitely have warmed up quite a bit from what we have been seeing earlier on in the week. North Battleford will be going down to low of -19 for their evening low temperature. So cooling down quite a bit from what they have been seeing for the past few nights this week. Almost hitting that -20 for the evening low. They won't be seeing too crazy of conditions though. Not a high chance of some flurries for tonight, so it will be quite calm. Then their Wednesday tomorrow, looking at that daytime high of -8. So once again, expecting another single digit. So expecting another beautiful day for North Battleford. Cold Lake will be going out to low of -20 for their evening low tonight as well. So they will be cooling down quite a bit from what they are sitting at. Probably the coolest conditions we have been seeing for the past couple weeks now for our evening lows. But then Cold Lake will be looking at -4 for their daytime high tomorrow and a mixture of some sun and clouds. So that, is expected another beautiful day for Cold Lake. And for us here in the border city, we will be going down to low of -16 for our evening low temperature. So we are probably going to be hitting that -20 to -25 with that wind chill. So it will be cooling down quite a bit, although won't be seeing a high chance of some flurries. I know Jace is booing over there. And then for our daytime high tomorrow, -7, so another single digit and a mixture of some sun and clouds. So definitely expecting some sunnier conditions tomorrow. And now ending off with a look at your 3-day forecast, we will be seeing these single digits continue on for our Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So be prepared. We have some beautiful days ahead for us here in the border city. And that's all I have for now for a first look at your weather forecast.
Thank you so much for that, Shelby. Coming up, Saskatchewan's health minister says private MRIs are here to stay, while some are calling it two-tiered healthcare. That's next. The Little Royal took place this past weekend with all sorts of different events hosted by Lakeland College, including a small cattle show. Here's Thomas Wildman with more.
The Lakeland College Stockmen's Club has a committee that runs the Little Royal Cattle Show. It's a typical spring jackpot cattle show where there is a junior division for those under the age of 21 and an open show where anyone with any animal can enter. It takes a lot of work to run a show.
There's lots of meetings prior to this show. We make a budget to stay on track. Everyone's delegated a job. We have the farm staff here to help us bring things in that we need for this show. We arrange stalling for all the exhibitors, and we have a show secretary to hand out prize money, and everyone has a job to help and make the show run smoothly.
It's important for these young students to be part of these groups as it helps them grow as young members of the agriculture industry.
Definitely helps with industry experience for us kids. Some years we've brought people in to give showmanship clinics, photography clinics. Contacting the judges is a huge industry connection for us, and helping at the show like I did today in the ring, getting to know the judge a little bit, definitely help make some industry connections.
The open show judge was decided ahead of time, but the junior show judge was chosen based on the high point individual at the Western Canadian Judging Competition, which Lakeland also ran during Little Royal. The high point individual just so happened to be one of the members of the Lakeland College judging team in Carter Wood, who was excited to judge the show.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, obviously not a huge show today. I think we had like 15 head, but still really cool to be out there and kind of let everybody know kind of what you think and how you see cattle, and just be able to accurately describe them. And
Thomas Wildman, Primetime, local news.
Lakeland College will once again be hosting their Feast on the Farm event this August. Here's Thomas Wildman with more.
Today we have Dr. Alice Wainwright, the president of Lakeland College, and she is here today to talk to us about the Feast on the Farm event that will be happening this coming up summer. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Alice.
My pleasure, Thomas.
And so Alice, tell me a little bit about the Feast on the Farm event.
When we think about the Feast on the Farm, we think of some of the grassroots of harvest time and Alberta experience of having that food to table experience. And so when we think about ours, this is our 6th year. We have the Feast on the Farm on August 17th this year. And what we've done is we put it in a venue. It really is, really supports our student experiences and helps them in ways that proceeds from this experience, helps our students really learn and lead and manage different projects. So if we think about the Feast on the Farm, what it's done in the past, we'll just kind of give you a couple examples. So students wanted to be able to install information centers in their automotive lab. The proceeds one year went to make sure that that station was a place where students could really work with. Another one was students felt that in the student managed farm that they needed a new maternity pen in the red barn and the proceeds. So it's a pretty amazing, maybe I'm biased, but it's a pretty amazing experience where that it's really done under a tent. So it's kind of really authentic in terms of we're going to have it on our research area, like it's the same venue that we've used before. Always make provisions when it's an outdoor tent experience that it's an opportunity for we make sure that if we have closed down the tent so it's warmer in there and have the heaters, we have that too. So full meal out in a tent with entertainment from Garrett Gregory this year. And usually our students are emceeing it and give some opportunities for students to kind of give experiences of what they've done throughout the year.
And then is the food going to be sourced from the student-ran farm out there in Vermilion from Lakeland, or is it going to be coming from a different source?
So we, what we're doing is with all of the issues that we've had with COVID, we're going to use our Aeromark venue. So they'll be providing the food this year for it. We've done some homegrown situations in the past, but we feel this year that we're going to just be really cautious of coming out of COVID and making sure that we've created a healthy situation. So food produced or provided, which they do, it'll be amazing as they usually have done.
And then Alice, if people would like to attend the event, where can they get the tickets, and how soon are the tickets going to be available?
Thank you, Thomas. Well, tickets go on sale on March 8th. So you can look at our website, you can give us a call. There's a link to the ticket sales will be right on our website, and it's lakelandcollege.ca/feast. And last year we sold out really quickly. So everyone's starting to realize that this event is kind of I would say it's Lakeland's signature event. It's one that really puts students in the front, but it also is a great evening where our people in our community have an opportunity to engage with students and actually highlight some of the student events that have happened through the year.
Thank you so much for all the information, Alice, and we hope you guys have a wonderful event and a great day.
Thanks, Thomas.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is actress Lila Fitzgerald. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Lila.
Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited.
No problem. Really excited to be able to have you on here and be able to speak on everything that you have going on here. So really excited for this opportunity. But I know you were in Monster High, the live action movie series. And I know you are also promoting your role in the new Lucky Hank series that's going to be with Bob Odenkirk. So really cool to be able to speak with you on that. So I kind of wanted to start off with that because we also have another topic about your new book that's going to be coming out soon. So we'll get a little bit more into that later on. But starting off with this new series for Lucky Hank, can you kind of explain what your role is in this?
So I can't give away too much, but I am one of the students at the school in Lucky Hank, and I join a committee to avert mediocrity, but I have some ulterior motives. And she's a very fun character. She was so fun to play, and I just can't wait for everyone to see her.
Oh no, that's really awesome. I knew you probably couldn't give too much, but of course, still have to try and get some teaser out of you. But that sounds really good so far. It sounds like a good experience. And I know with Monster High, with the live action movie series, that there's a sequel that's gonna be coming out soon.
Yes, so we actually just finished filming the sequel end of February, which was, I guess, not just anymore, but still feels like we just did it, which was very, very fun to get back into it and see everyone again. And I'm just really excited also for audiences to get to come back to the characters and get to relive the joy of Monster High.
Yeah, and for people out there that are interested in checking out for the sequel, like, can you kind of expand a bit more on what they can kind of expect for the sequel?
Yeah, so the sequel, without giving too much away, we're coming back for sophomore year. So we got to follow Claudine and her friends through her freshman year and finding her place in the school. And now we get to sort of see Claudine, Gulia, Cleo, all the monsters come back together for sophomore year, find their places at an older stage with some new magic and mystery going on.
Oh, sounds very good. And I was going to also ask for, for you playing Gulia when it comes to Monster High, from the switch up from that role into, of course, being one of the students in this new Lucky Hank show. How has it been kind of switching into those different roles?
I mean, they are very, very different shows. The lucky thing for me is that Monster High, we spend like 2.5 to 3 hours every morning getting airbrushed. I get turned green. I get the wig on. So I don't have too much acting to do to feel like a zombie, because when you're walking around the incredible sets that have been built for us in our crazy kooky costumes with all the makeup, with the hair, you're kind of just already thrown into it. And then with Lucky Hank, the thing that I think is the most special about that show is how natural all the actors are on it. They are just humans, especially Bob Odenkirk is a master at that. And I think, being on a show with him, all of the other actors are, rising to his level and the level of the other stars on that show. So for that, it was really just sinking into being a teenage girl saying words.
Yeah, no, I could just imagine the switch up from to Monster High. Like right when you said that, I thought that is absolutely amazing to see that you're able to, have that range from switching to Monster High into a more natural role for Lucky Hank. So it definitely sounds like a great experience for you. It's going to be really nice for everyone to be able to check out those projects for you. Now, kind of moving on to the novel that's going to be coming out. Can we kind of start, kind of end things off with speaking about this, of what this fantasy novel is all about?
Yes, so it is a sci-fi fantasy young adult novel, heavy on the fantasy, and it takes place in a futuristic world where Earth has actually shattered into islands floating between the stars. So ships sail the stars like they used to sail the sea, and it follows Anya Marcox, an average girl, as she is stuck in steerage aboard a luxury cruise airship. and she sort of learns about this mystical relic that could change the fate of the islands and grabs onto her one chance to be special and prove she's more than just average. And it's also very interesting because I didn't realize until after writing the book that my OCD had sort of worked its way in. So I definitely, like, I have OCD. I struggle with that all the time. And writing my book was sort of an escape from reality for me, an escape from the pressures of acting and just real life. And it was interesting to go back and read it and see that the fantastical evil elements of my book are actually sort of a fantasy take on mental health.
Oh no, that's really cool. And from writing this novel and having this idea for the fantasy novel and whatnot, what would you say kind of inspired you from just how your journey has been with, Monster High and Lucky Hank and whatnot?
I think the inspiration for the book itself came from a really cool dream. But in general, to be a writer, and hopefully a writer that can help, young girls find themselves and find confidence, I've grown up telling other people's stories, which has been a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. And I'm honored to have gotten to tell the stories that I have. That being said, it's time for me to tell my own story. It's time for me to be the one holding the pen, for me to be the director, for me to be leading the charge. And I think a lot of women need to find confidence and find the ability to step into themselves and say, no, I'm just as powerful as that man over there. And so that's definitely an inspiration for me, is girls, and especially young girls. Teen girls are a driving force in the world. They are a huge consumer. They drive trends. And so, they need to be seen and heard and leading the charge.
I think that's a really beautiful message, and a lot of people out there, women especially, need to hear that indeed. So I think that's really beautiful that you're able to kind of transition into not just acting, but also writing and doing something for yourself as well. Now, for people that are wanting to, check out some of these things, like the trailers for Lucky Hank and checking out for Monster High 2 and for your novel, can you kind of let us know where they can find more information about you online and just where they can, kind of figure all this out?
Yes. So my social media is probably the best place to follow everything to do with me. So it's Lila Fitzgerald. It's just my full name on all platforms. Stars and Swashbucklers is my novel. It will be out April 4th. I have a live launch in Los Angeles at Chevalier's Books, pretty far away, but it'll be pretty fun. And you can pre-order my book pretty soon. I have all the links in my bio on my Instagram.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Lila. It was really nice speaking with you, and congrats on doing all this. I think it's going to be really great, and you'll be seeing lots of support.
Thank you so much. Thank you for chatting with me.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
I'm back at Border Paws Animal Rescue for another edition of Pet Project, and today we have a gorgeous white cat named Marlin. Tell me a little bit about him. You were explaining a little bit earlier how he came into the shelter pretty beat up.
Yeah, so he was in pretty rough shape. He had a big hole in the top of his head when he first came in, a lot of lacerations all over his face. As you can see, he's got a frostbitten ear there. So he was in pretty rough shape, but we got him all back, got him on meds, got him all good to go. So yeah, he's about 2 to 3 years old, we think. Gets along great with other cats. We've had him in the condo with the other cats, no issue there. He can be quite vocal, though, when he wants your attention. So, I mean, if you're wanting a quieter cat, I mean, he will meow and meow until you give him attention. So, but he would do good with any family, right? I mean, he doesn't seem to mind the dogs at all. He's good with other cats. Kids love him. Anybody can pick him up. He's a really good boy.
Yeah, it seems the opposite of most cats being wanting attention. Most cats are like, leave me alone, I'll come to you. But you know, and since he's been on the counter, he's been just super sweet, kind of observing his surroundings a little bit, but definitely very sweet cat who just wants cuddles. And like you said earlier, once he gets used to you,
yes,
he'll be your
he'll
best
be a
friend.
little standoffish in the beginning, but as soon as he gets to know you, he's your best friend. And then he demands the attention. So, and he's just such a gorgeous boy, and he's kind of got that sad look on his face, but I absolutely adore him.
Yeah, he is very adorable, and it's hopefully by doing this he'll be able to find a perfect fit home. And you, like you said, it doesn't matter if they have pets, as long as they kind of get along.
Exactly, and I don't think it'd be him and more be other people's, but again, I always just recommend a slow introduction. I mean, most cats aren't going to like each other within the first 5 minutes anyways. Yeah. So sometimes it just takes a couple of days, right?
Now you have a few events going on. Your adoption event that you had with PetSmart, how did that go?
So it went good. I mean, we didn't see the numbers we really were hoping to see, but I would still say we got about 8 cats adopted last week. So, I mean, that's still good, right? We're still happy with that. I mean, it's kind of the season. Nobody really wants to be out and about right now. So it's understandable. But yeah, no, it went good. We still got some out, so it was, you know, better than none.
And then you have your booze raffle and your Pampered Chef event going on right now.
Yes, so we have our booze raffle. I believe we have 115 tickets left, so we would love to sell out of those. They're $5 a ticket. You can go right onto our Facebook page. The link is right there to get them. You're going to get tons of stuff, too. There's lots of different liquor in there, as well as a Fourth Meridian gift card. And also, we actually just added from KP's Etching, they added some cups with our logo on it. So, yeah, it's really, really cool.
That's awesome.
And that goes till Thursday, and we'll do the draw on Friday. And then as well as we have our Pampered Chef, and that runs till the end of the month. Again, just go to our Facebook, and it will take you right to the link there. And I believe we get 10 to 15% of the proceeds going to that.
Which is awesome, and kind of unique events as well.
Exactly.
And it's almost St. Patrick's Day, so the booze raffle is perfect, and it's the perfect timing. And it's cool that you guys have already, you know, started adding more to it as well. So there's even more to win than in previous weeks. Now you are looking for sponsors for the new building. Tell me a little bit about that and kind of what you guys are looking for in terms of sponsors.
So yeah, we are looking to get some sponsors. We still have like some rooms and kennels. So basically, you know, if you want to, there's different terms. So you can just head to our website, and that will kind of explain the different terms you can get. I believe there's a 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year, and there's different price ranges. So like you could just do like a cat kennel, or you can do a whole room. There's lots up for grabs, and basically you get to put your logo on there, and it's a great way to show that you sponsor us and get your name out there, and then you're also helping out all the animals. And there's different prices. Like I believe it's like $500 for a cat kennel, $1,000 for a dog one. So there's all kinds of different prices for everybody. So just head to our website, and that sponsor capital campaign information's all on there. Marlon wants to explore.
And with the sponsorships, what would that go towards?
So that's going to go basically towards getting us in our building. We're so close. We're just, you know, got a few things we need to finish here. So yeah, it's just going to kind of help maintain the building and help it keep running, right, and your everyday costs.
Awesome. And same question as every week, is there any donations that you're in need of?
So we actually had one of our wonderful supporters, Bev Lorenz. She came and brought us a ton of cat food, so that's really nice. I mean, we can always use more, but now we actually need the dog food. So we're running a little low on dog food, so kibble and wet as well as, you know, we have the 6 puppies, so any puppy food helps as well. Same with the gastro food. I mean, when we're weaning them off mom, right, they can be a little bit, have diarrhea. So if anybody wants to donate the gastro food, you can get that at any vet clinic as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today. And Marlon disappeared somewhere, but I'm sure we'll find him eventually. He was a very sweet cat, so he will definitely make a great addition to any household. And just hopefully, if you have already existing pets, they can kind of get used to each other as well, because he seems great regardless of what environment he's in. So thank you.
Thank you.
And that's our show. Thank you all so much for joining us for this edition of Primetime Local News. Have a great night, and we'll see you here again tomorrow.